Welcome back to Fighting Stats. I'm your host, Art C, and today we are breaking down the UFC Vegas fight between Erin Blanchfield and Maycee Barber. This fight going down this weekend at UFC Apex. I'll just sort of expedite this breakdown here. We'll go into it. This fight is going to come down to basically the takedown defense of Maycee Barber. So let's get into the numbers, and I'll tell you why I think that. Physically, though, Maycee Barber is going to be 1 inch taller. Blanchfield is going to have a 1 inch reach advantage, and it looks like Maycee Barber is going to have a 2 inch kicking advantage. Currently, the odds on Erin Blanchfield minus 245, the comeback on Maycee Barber plus 200. So the reason I say the takedown defense of Maycee Barber, Erin Blanchfield going to be your grappler, right? She's going to want to get the fight down to the ground. Let's briefly go over some of these numbers here. So in that last fight against Rose, Erin Blanchfield did get Rose Namajunas down twice there. One in round number 3 for 18 seconds. Again in round number 5 for 248 seconds. So Erin Blanchfield does have some heavy top pressure when she gets on top. She will control and rack up some of these control time, right? And I know everybody's going to point to the Manon Fiorot fight, but we just saw Manon Fiorot fight Valentina Shevchenko. I was there live. I was big on Valentina Shevchenko because the takedowns of Erin Blanchfield are a little bit different than the takedowns of a Shevchenko, right? So Erin Blanchfield, a lot of her takedowns come from the body lock. She will want to clinch you. She will outside trip you, inside trip you, get you down to the ground. Against somebody big and strong like Manon Fiorot, Erin Blanchfield just wasn't able to close the distance and get a hold of Fiorot and really bring her down to the ground there, right? So Erin Blanchfield went 0 of 3 takedowns attempted, really didn't even get a hold of her to attempt many takedowns, so went 0 and 3 in takedowns, ended up losing to Manon Fiorot. Against Jessalyn Andrade, she got a takedown, 1 of 3 on her. Against Miranda Maverick, she got Maverick down 7 or 8 times there. So, she does have a clear path to grapple here, and I think that's the issue, is that her takedowns don't come traditionally from single legs or double legs. They more come from the clinch, right? Whereas now on the Maycee Barber side, let's go over to the defensive grappling here of Maycee Barber. If you ask anybody what Maycee Barber does well, is that she's very physical, right? She's sort of like a bully. She'll push you up against the cage. She'll wear on you. She's not going to outstrike you at distance. She can, but she's more of a in-your-face grinding type of girl. She'll take you into deep waters, and if you can get bullied, she will bully you. But against bigger strikers, things like that, and then she sort of struggles a little bit, right? So she had her way with Caitlin Chimenara. Amanda Ribas was pretty good. Andrea Lee. Some of these girls, she was able to just outwork them. She does like the clinch a lot, so she'll spend a lot of time in the clinch. But we just talked about how much Erin Blanchfield wants those trips and takedowns from the clinch, and that's where most of her takedowns come from. Now on the Maycee Barber side, in terms of takedown defense, let's look at some of these numbers here. So Caitlin Chimenara, or Caitlin Chikagian, she got her down in round number 3 for 40 seconds of control, went over 5 in round number 1, but Chikagian's not really a grappler. Same thing with Amanda Ribas. Amanda Ribas got her down twice, 2 out of 3 times, 73 seconds of control in round number 1, 72 in round number 2. Amanda Ribas, not really a wrestler of sorts, right? She can grapple pretty good on the ground. And then the Andrea Lee, right? This is back in 2023, so it's still Andrea Lee at the tail end of her career. Not a great look. Andrea Lee gets Maycee Barber down 5 times. 126 seconds of control for round 1, 114 seconds of control round 2, 80 seconds of control on 3 takedowns in round number 3. Andrea Lee's not a grappler at all, got her down 5 times. Jessica Ai got her down in round 2 for 232 seconds of control. Montana De La Rosa, not really a grappler either, got her down for 142 seconds of control. Miranda Maverick got her down 81 seconds. Alexa Grasso, not really a wrestler. Roxanne Modafferi, I know Maycee Barber blew out her knee, but that was in round 2. Round number 1, Roxanne Modafferi goes 1 for 1 in takedowns, 224 seconds of control. So, none of these girls are real wrestlers, right? Jillian Robertson, she got her down. JJ Aldridge, Hannah Seifert. So all of these girls that Maycee Barber are fighting are kind of can be pushed around. They can be bullied around. They're not the most physical. They're not the most strongest, right? And they can be pushed up against the cage. But a lot of these takedowns that she's giving up are from the clinch or from the trips, and it's almost non-existent. She goes down sort of easy. As soon as she gets the trip, somebody pushes her the other way, trips her a little bit, and she's down on the ground, right? And she's not fighting real grapplers. Chikagian, Ribas, Andrea Lee, these girls are nowhere near the BJJ level of an Erin Blanchfield. So I think that the takedowns come pretty easy for Blanchfield in this fight. And I think once the fight gets down to the ground, I think that Erin Blanchfield's going to be levels above Barber on the ground there. It wouldn't surprise me to see Erin Blanchfield take over, even find a submission into the later rounds again, because Barber's only faced one submission attempt, and that was Agaleta Grasso in round number 2. She's never fought anybody in the level of Blanchfield on the ground. So I do think that Barber has Blanchfield has a clear grappling path if it gets down to the ground. Now, that's not to say on the feet that Blanchfield's out of the water either. I think that she's pretty serviceable on the feet. Again, Maycee Barber's not a huge distance striker. She will want to more bully you in the cage, wear on you a little bit, but that plays right into Blanchfield's type of game, right? So on the feet, I think it's close. I give the edge to Barber in terms of power, in terms of maybe diverse striking, but I don't think that Barber's going to sort of be able to outpoint her for 5 rounds, stay on the outside, not get taken down like a Furo, and use that type of game plan. I think eventually Blanchfield's going to find this takedown. Blanchfield might be able to get the back, and I think if it gets to the ground, the submission's very live for Erin Blanchfield. Right? Whereas on the Maycee Barber side, I think it has to come from KO, but she doesn't have a ton of KO equity. So again, her win equity for a Barber is sort of stay on the outside, stick and move, 5 rounds, keeping it upright, sort of like Furo, and win a decision that way. Whereas I think Blanchfield has a lot of the finishing equity coming from submission. I don't think the KO is pretty live, but it could come from like a ground and pound positional TKO sort of thing, right? So I like Blanchfield here. I did get an early number on Erin Blanchfield. I know it's moved out a little bit more. The line's pretty wide. I do understand that, but I get the thinking, and just everything that we've seen on tape from Maycee Barber in terms of her takedown defense has me completely worried to be on that side. I don't really know if you can be confident on the Barber side to keep the fight standing. I think if you do, you're going to point to the Manon Fiorot versus Erin Blanchfield fight, but I think that's a completely different fight. It's a different type of takedowns, things like that. Fiorot is not Maycee Barber. Their striking game is not anywhere near the same, so it's going to be a little bit different, and I think once the fight hits the ground, I think it's going to be all Blanchfield. So give me Blanchfield to win. I think she wins a decision, but the submission wouldn't surprise me. But let me know in the comments below if you agree, disagree. Again, we're on fire this year at Fighting Stats, where I'm up over 112 units for 2025, so on an absolute tear, and that's because we do our homework, we do our tape study, we have UFC stats not available anywhere else, not even the sportsbooks have it, so it gives us a huge edge when it comes to betting. And again, we're not slowing down here, we're just on an absolute tear. So you can join for free, patreon.com/fightingstats. I post all of our plays there. We do give out some free plays there as well, but join us there. My name is Artsy, and this is Fighting Stats. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching.